Good morning, everybody. We're here obviously to process the Revenue Laws Amendment Bill. Any apologies in Kuleleku?
No, Chair, I did not receive any apologies.
Good, okay. On the report, it was sent to you on Saturday afternoon. It was sent to Asisa, because Irva and Asisa are saying the same things. I only sent it to Audrey. And then I also sent it to Dennis because he had various proposals, all of which but one were accepted. But he's raised it again as a recommendation, which is his right. We will look at that. I also asked Chris just to check out the technical side. So the report has been thoroughly consulted with all parties. And from what I can gather, there's consensus on it. So why don't we look informally at the report, then look formally at the bill, vote on the bill, then formally at the report and vote on it. Thanks. Over then to members. Anything anybody wants to say? No. So shall we go ahead then? Dennis, do you want to say something about your recommendation?
Yeah, Chair, thanks very much. Good morning. I thought I'd get to it a bit later, but I did circulate it last night. I do think that,
recording in progress.
It emanates out of one of the observations, and I always think that it's appropriate if you make an observation to link it to a recommendation. The recommendation really is that we would encourage big business to participate in the public participation process going forward. And Chair, I'm going to get on my soapbox a little bit here, because I do think that it is something that can add tremendous value in the 7th Parliament going forward, etc. And I mean, the reality is that as members of Parliament, we are not all financial experts. I certainly don't consider myself one. I have some financial training, but not enough to be an expert in the many matters that this committee is required to deal with in a very short space of time. As a result of that, I believe it is important for us to get inputs of experts. And, this particular bill and the processing of this bill is one where this issue has been highlighted, where, the committees of both houses were pushing for a very early implementation date, because what we see is the practical outputs of the bill, not necessarily this leg of the bill, but the bill that results in the changes that we're proposing and discussing today. And we were pushing for an early implementation date across both houses and across most political parties. The fact is that big business then jumped up and down, indicating that, there were other things that needed to change first. And it wasn't merely the pushing of a button. Now, I mean, there's no ways that I, as a politician, would be in a position to know that, because it's not my area of exact expertise. And the intricacies and the complications that come with dealing with such complex issues are such that you do require the inputs of experts. Now, for big business to respond in the way that they did, when they haven't, informed MPs, they haven't brought us on board with their processes and so on, is quite difficult. And I do think that, the fact that big business, not only the big insurance companies, the big banks, and many other players who have interests, these people employ economists at substantial expense. And it would be so useful to our committee just to have inputs from some different perspectives. We go through the process, we get the FFC, we get the PBO giving us their inputs always, and that's marvelous, but it's pretty one-sided. And I do believe there's a much bigger role for big business to play. I understand the recommendation I proposed. It doesn't have anything that is enforceable. We're not going to go and lock up the CEO of one of the big banks because he didn't come to present to our committee. But what I'm trying to do, Chair, is just to send out a message to big business, say, look, Parliament matters. This is where legislation is processed, and this is where, and particularly in the NCOP, Chair, it's where we look at how legislation that is passed has impact once it is implemented. And in terms of that role, it would really deepen the conversation if we could get inputs from across the board. So that really is what I wanted to achieve by doing this, Chair. Everyone's read my proposal, I hope, and I would be most grateful if we could get some support for including it in the report. Thanks for the opportunity.
Okay, anybody wants to say anything? Willie?
Unmute yourself, Mr. Ocamp.
Sorry for that. Good morning, everybody. Chair, I fully support that. I'm banking, let me not call the bank's name, but every year before the budget, we see that they give their inputs, and every year after the budget, you get a 10-point what affects you type of plan. And I think it would be very good to get people like the banking industry or big finance companies to come and address us on this. It would be good to get more inputs into Parliament from a broader spectrum of companies, and I therefore fully support Mr. Ryder's point in this. It is in the report, not as a recommendation, but it is mentioned in the report, and I think we can just entail this in the recommendations itself as well. Thank you.
Okay, while others are thinking about it, can I just draw the meeting's attention? Ultimately, it's not I who decide, it's the majority, okay? Firstly, let me speak as a chairperson and then as a member of this committee. Big business plays a very active role in Parliament as far as I know. On this bill, they were not here, but on the public procurement bill, BUSA has sent us 140 pages, as I remember. And the academics that appeared before our committee, you need to look up their backgrounds and who they're connected to. So usually, business is overwhelmingly represented through its own structures and a variety of other allied structures. On this particular bill, they were not here. But what we do have is a CISA who not only has been present, but actually was given the opportunity to ensure that what is in the report accurately reflects what they said. So we did consult with them. Now, so that's as far as the facts are concerned. Then what are we actually saying? Are we saying that big business should be encouraged in general? Or are we saying that we regret they're not being involved in this bill and recommend that they should become involved in bills like this? So those are two separate issues, because it's not true that business doesn't participate in Parliament. Secondly, if you put this recommendation, you realize you're setting a precedent. We've never done this before. And the questions that will arise are, why are we not mentioning all the other parties that should have been here on this bill who are not here? Why business? So those are at the level of a chair. At the level of politics, my own view, I don't know whether the majority in the ANC agrees. We haven't discussed this issue, so it's not a mandated position. And finally, the majority can decide. I actually think there's something not quite right. Well, there's a third practical problem, but Dennis, you acknowledged it, that actually it's unenforceable. You can't recommend to them. You can only encourage them. Fourthly, it's not true that every observation goes as recommendation. That's just not true. If we were to do that, it means we have to be clear about what the observation implies. Sometimes we can't get consensus even within one party, let alone across party. So it's just not, speaking now as a chair, not true that every observation must carry a recommendation. Though ideally that should be the case, Dennis. That's not in fact the case, as you well know. Turn to any report, not least the fiscal framework report. Observations are meant to encourage an understanding of the issues the stakeholders submitted, or for us to better get a sense of how it is we as a majority or as a committee think. Now, as far as the politics go, I'm ill at ease about a recommendation. I don't think one should encourage business who are so powerful and so on, as against civil society organizations, in this case of pensioners, beyond COSATU, other trade unions that have a vested interest. I mean, this is for workers who are in pension schemes generally, but only one federation turned up. What about all the others? What about SAFTU and all the other trade union federations and individual unions? So we need to be balanced. And now speaking as a member of the committee, I think we should toughen the provision that's there when we come back to the final voting on the report, to say maybe something like, let me just go back there, sorry, my screen's gone, to toughen that, but instead of a recommendation, we can make it stronger. We can say the committee notes with considerable disappointment. We can add that only three stakeholders, well, that's about stakeholders, right? It notes too that big business engaged more with the executive than with Parliament. It's in the interest to engage with parliamentary committees, as it is Parliament that ultimately decides on. The committee encourages them to do so. And look, we can't prescribe to the incoming committee and needs to have a meeting with the big business organizations. But is there a need for that? So can we mull over that? But look, do the majority, or those who haven't spoken, do they want this thing to be a recommendation? And if so, just present an argument so we can at least have it minuted why we're doing this in this particular circumstance. The normal critique, finally, is that COSATU and big business dominate everything. In fact, I'm one of the chairs that in 1999, arguing for, when we started the second term, arguing for money to be allocated to smaller NGOs and those who can't make it to public hearings in Cape Town, because bills were dominated in public hearings by big business and big trade unions. So, I know this goes back a long way. For about 8 to 10 years, Freely was still here then, and Baleka took over as speaker. They were giving us money to get people to come. But after that, the money fizzled out. So, if you're going to do it, it's fine. I'm just presenting some of the implications, both as a chair and my own view. But my own view is not the view of the majority party necessarily. Let's hear. Frank, you got your hand up?
Sorry, good morning, Chairperson. Yes, I have my hand up. This matter of getting people to come to a committee, of course, the committee can call anybody. We're aware of this. And this has been said in various court cases. If a committee is unhappy with the quality of public submissions he has in front of it,
right. Yeah.
the committee must use its tools that it has. And the committee can't bind the private sector, of course. That will do with legislation, not with recommendations. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Frank. I hadn't thought of that angle, but I've forgotten what you said. We can always invite them. Yeah. Listen, can we go on, please, man? Is there anybody else? There's nobody speaking from the ANC. Maybe the whip wants to come in. Comrade Lilliot? So the ANC doesn't have a view apart from me. Tikeledi? Are we going to put this to the vote or not? Shall we put it to the vote then? Okay, let's vote. Nobody wants to speak, not even on a straightforward issue like this, which is part of the ANC's. Sorry, I heard a voice.
It's open. I don't have
anything. Sorry, yeah. Sorry about that, yeah.
I don't have anything different from what you have said. I think what you have been saying about the public participation, what we can and cannot do, is what you have been saying and what we have been discussing and said in previous committee, and correctly said that we cannot enforce, but we can invite, and that's what we do. Thank you.
Yeah, in fact, in Scoffway, there's the same thing. Look, can I suggest a way out? You see, firstly, Dennis, Willie, no one's disagreeing with the point you're making. No one's disagreeing. Okay? I turned to Dennis to look at this report, not only because of his sections. I said, Dennis, you understand the technicalities better than I do. Don't just look at your section, look at the whole report. And I think you made some changes elsewhere. I contacted Audrey and in an email said to her, listen, we're not technical experts. You may not know my history as a chair. I think Tikeledi might have done the same. Offline, I have been engaging, not so much this term, with business regularly, the Banking Association regularly in the last term, and saying, look, I don't understand the issues. The policy decisions are for us to make. But, can you explain to me or give me a paragraph? Let me see it. I've done that, Dennis, many, many times, unapologetically, okay? Because we don't know. We've drawn on experts. And let me put it to you. Look at these technical experts that are there in the public procurement bill. Who are they really, right? Not all. I'm not questioning the integrity and not even the unconscious biases. So business is preponderant here, Dennis. But we would like BUSA to have taken part, like they have, the Banking Association. I agree with you. But Dennis, look, can't we strike it? You're right. No one's disputing it. And I think more than most chairs, I do engage with business, okay? I read the Business Day first and foremost, and I read the Financial Times. And it's the paper of big capital, although the life and art section over the weekend one is what thrills me the most, is book reviews, and people laugh at me. But there I am. So, you got the wrong guy here. All right. So can't we strengthen that, Dennis, Willie? Can't we add the words I said? And let me think as we going through the other stuff. Okay, can't we say, excuse me, Esther, just note some of this. Let's see if the committee notes with considerable disappointment that only 3 stakeholders, that's a big point made. It notes too that big business engaged more with the executive than with Parliament. However, it is in the, just put it in the interest, right? And then add, not only can they advance their own interests in making active representation through parliamentary hearings and in other ways, they have skills and experiences that are lacking in the committee, and while there may be, they make it more like fine-tune, while ultimate decisions on legislation lie with parliamentary committees, business can enhance the quality of a bill through its active participation. Something like that, Dennis.
That's great. I'm happy with that, Chair. I mean, just,
there's no ideological thing
emphasis.
Yeah. You see, there is this thing that the ANC's, there's nothing to hide. You know it. Even the smallest newspaper, your local knock and drop, will have a line once or twice. You see, even in the ANC, we divided, right? Understandably, we're a big monolith, so to speak. Well, you may not say monolith, but what's the word? Behemoth. Well, not behemoth. What's the word? I can't find the word. What I mean is we're a big multi-class, multi-strata organization, right? We're not like a narrow political party with a very strict membership hung together by some sort of clear ideological and policy set of proposals, right? So what you got with us is sections feel we identified too much with big business, okay? And the president's attacked by anybody and everybody for whatever reason, right? Wrongly mostly, but sometimes rightly, about his propensity to do big business. Then you got other people who feel we're not doing enough. The country is collapsing, right? And we need to actually engage more with the private sector like never before. It might interest you. Some even argue that even Lenin had the new economic policy, right? Then others will argue, no, but that was a Marxist state. So we're having this debate. So the subtext also, Dennis, is, to carry this majority party after May 29th, I think we'll still be here very much more than all of you think. But hey, you know what? Let's not go there. The fact of the matter is, Dennis, there's also politics within the ANC. We try to be consensual to carry all the tendencies within us. You also, as a smaller party, Dennis, you also have your own internal policy issues, right? But how you relate to various, like welfarism and so on, and their differences. There's the Colin Eglin types, and then the other Tony Leon types, right? So can we settle on that, Dennis? Something like that, please.
I'm happy with that, Chair. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Dennis, for your understanding. You've been very cooperative. Actually, there's no difference between us on what you're saying. It's where you put it and how you put it and how you carry people with you. Thanks for your understanding, Willie, as well. Okay, now, colleagues, let's ask Adri if she's got anything to say, but all your changes, but for 1 or 2, have been included. Are you fine, Adri? Caesar, is anybody here? I thought I saw Adria.
Yes, Adri is here, Chair.
All right. Well, she doesn't want to say anything. Okay, fine. So then, Kosatu, is Matthew here? I didn't
Yeah,
see.
morning, Chair. We're here.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, Chair,
Okay.
we're very happy with it. We went through it, and yeah, we're comfortable with it. And Chair, as Kosatu, we have no problem with business being part of it. We do fight with them now and then, but we also sit with them at NEDLAC in the bargaining councils, and half the time we do it with each other. So I think we're happy with it, Chair. Thanks.
Okay, Audrey says they're comfortable. So that's the policy, right? Now, as I understand it, see, if you make any amendment to the bill, it has to go through the Torturous Money Bills Act thing, and we thought it's not appropriate for now. So we acknowledged Aziza's grace and cooperation. But nothing stops Treasury from saying, hey, there's a comma in the wrong place. So those are small technical things. And there are increasing number of glitches like that are happening as Parliament's under pressure. I spoke to Chris about 10 minutes before 8 o'clock. He assures me there are no technical changes to make, in which case, since the same bill we've had, we don't have to go through line by line, literally, but there is a process that we have to go through, and I do so as a formal process, right? So we're going to go through the bill. Treasury, you will come in if there's anything you want to add, right? And if any member wants to see clarity yet again, please feel free to do so. So obviously, if we go to page 3, you got clause 1 there. And so I'll just go through it quickly. Clause 1, any comments? Just button because I can't keep looking at the screen to see whose hand is up. Oh, there it is on the screen. Thank you, Nkululeko. So now we're going to go to page 3. Nkululeko. Yeah, I've got it on my computer as have others. So clause 1's there. Then we go to clause 2. Clause 1 is fairly long. We go down into page 6. Chris, you'll intervene if I'm doing anything wrong. We're at 1P, 1Q, 1F. Go down into page 9 now. Into page 10. I take it there's no issues. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. 15. 16. Running into page 17. Page 18. Page 19. Right, so can we have a mover and seconder, please? A mover on for support of the bill, please. So after agreeing, nobody wants to move.
Thank you, Chairperson. It's Mama
There we are. Hello, my friend. Okay, thank you. Nice to hear your voice. Thank you.
I move for adoption of the reports. Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay. Seconder. Where's our buddy Linda? Is she not here?
A second, Chair.
Linda. Yeah, Linda, please. Yeah, Linda, we want to hear her voice. I like your voice, Linda. Seriously, I do. I like the verve in it. Okay, so other parties, you want any comment to make? There's a mover and seconder. Anybody oppose? No. All right, so for once it's unanimous. Ooh, I don't think we've had a bill like this for a long time. How nice. Okay. So why are we having elections, Dennis? If we're all agreeing on everything, just let the ANC run the show. I mean, why you want to destabilize?
We agree on one tiny little bill. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Now, so excuse me. So the bill is passed. Thank you, colleagues, for your cooperation. Now let's go to the report. Excuse me. Sorry, it's my reflux playing up. Okay, so now here there is one point that I want to comment from 4.4. I'm not sure what the version that you got, but the one that I sent to you, it's the same one. Comment from a CISA here. Chris, do you want to reply to this? We said, let's expedite regulations. Their comment is, you can see it there.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I also did see that regulations line, and I was wondering what regulations, because we're trying not to anymore.
So you remove that line, eh?
Yeah, I think that's, you can remove that. Also need to expedite regulations line. Check.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. I think I put that in there at some stage. Or was there a draft that had that, and then I added words? I can't remember.
Yeah,
I can't remember how it got to be there. Between Esther and me, so I don't know. But you know what? We heard this thing at some stage. It's in my notes somewhere as well, by the way. I don't know where I picked that up. But fine, let's remove that line, right? So we're agreeing on that.
Yes, thank you, Chair.
All right, then on 5.2, can you all just give me some space to send Dennis something? And we'll do it now, immediately. And then, insert it in along the lines that, we urge them to participate, big business. It's both in their interest, but also in ours. But make it like we're not some sort of subordinate structure to either business or COSATU. Okay, can we do that? Is that agreed? No objections? Dennis has got his thumb up. Good. Okay, then in that case, is there any need for me to go through it paragraph by paragraph? Frank, do I have to do that? I mean, the report was sent out. Everybody's seen it.
No,
Frank,
no,
are you here?
No,
Sorry?
I'm here, Chair. I'm here. No, you don't have to. The report we can just adopt as the committee feels fit. It's only the bills that we do clause by clause.
That's right. Okay, good. So there we are. Mover and seconder, please. Dennis, don't you want to move?
Let's all move, Chairperson. Let's move. I move.
Thank you, Linda. All right, nobody wants to second.
Seconded.
Thank you. Thank you. It's hard to get people to move a second here. Okay, we're done. Just a quick thing before we part. Inkululeko was drawn to my attention that we got a sitting for Thursday. I don't recall that, I knew it was Good Friday on Friday, and I didn't know then that we're not even sitting on Wednesday and Thursday in plenaries, right? And we need to consult with Frank about that, about negotiating mandates on the public procurement bill. So we will send you an adjusted program. What I'd like to ask the committee is that if we have to deal with the negotiating mandates this week, 4 of them I think have come in, can we meet rather on Wednesday than Thursday? Is there anybody objecting to that? So Thursday is free. Secondly, immediately after we agree, we get this amendment done, Dennis, to the observations, I will bring you, Frank. I need some clarity. I got phoned by one province which wants to know what they do about negotiating mandates. I said, yes, I think a letter should come out after consultation with our legal services unit. Having said that, there may be a meeting on Wednesday. It'll be a brief meeting, but we're on course to use up the full period of the extension for the public procurement bill. Tomorrow we have the pension fund bill. It's not been voted in the National Assembly, but nothing stops us getting a briefing. So tomorrow morning we have that bill, and we have the outstanding minutes up till last week. Okay, thank you very much. Any comments from anybody? Nope, thanks everybody.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, honourable members.